Greetings, Mechwarrior. This is OffshoreSHO, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mechwarrior skill trees. I'm a bit late to the party on the skill trees, but it's better late than never. So I've been experimenting on the skill trees for the last 3 days for a lot of the mechs that I have, and if you've seen my videos, I have over 80 plus mechs in my account. I've collected a lot of mechs. So I had a chance to discover what's the best for lights, what's the best for medium, heavies and assaults. So hopefully you'll enjoy my perspective view of the skill tree. But before that, so let me explain. So this is the weapon skill tree right here, and each of these are called nodes. So in one mech, you are only allowed to activate about 91 nodes per mech, but you have about 237 nodes in every mech. However, you only can unlock 91, if that's clear enough for you to understand. So mechs that you have mastered completely before, you can get it here for free. There's historic skill points, where you can just claim the 91 skill points. I used to have 1,000 plus in the general skill points, but I'm not using that anymore because I've only but such a little left for 1,000 skill points to now 77, so I'm going to keep that for something special. And if you have a new mech and you need the skill points, you can either trade it in for 1 skill point, 45,000 C-bills and 800 XP. When I mean XP, I mean any XP, whether it be the mech experience points, the general experience point, or the historic experience points. So one mech, you are required 91 here skill points per mech. So you need about 72,800 XP and 4 million C-bills for one mech for those 91 skill points. And after you use the skill points and you decide to respec, you'll lose that money. You don't get it back. From what I've seen, I didn't get anything back when I respec the tree, so a bit disappointed about that actually. Ouch. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but I got nothing back. I didn't even get the skill point back. I didn't get the money back. I didn't get the XP back. So I guess you're gonna have to regenerate more, get more XP and get more C-bills for those nodes that you unlock or you're trying to respec your mech. So let's go to this weapon skill tree for now. So you have the normal range. So each range that nodes that you unlock, it releases 1% of its range. And you have the velocity that increase the velocity of the ballistic missiles and PPCs. Realize if you notice there's no lasers there, because lasers doesn't need velocity, it's just right there in a second. And you have the cooldown. One cooldown node is minus 0.75%. And we have the special nodes, like the high explosive for the missiles. They have 2 of these special nodes that increase the critical damage by 7.5 per node. So you have 2 of this node. And we have the missile spread that reduces the missile spread. So you have 2 of these nodes as well. And you have the missile rack, which increase the ammo capacity for each ton of ammo you place into your mech. And let's see now. And if you are a laser mech, right, or laser vomit mech, you're gonna need these 4 special nodes. The laser duration 1, 2, 3, 4 of the laser nodes, which reduce the duration of laser. Means you fire and it stops earlier than what you usually do with lasers without this. So it does a same amount of damage for the shorter amount of time, basically. And you have the gas rifle charge. I would say this is one of the useless things, but depend on what kind of player. This might be useful to you, but I found no use for this. Or gas rifle just increase the extended charge means you get a longer time to decide before it's you stop shooting it, or the charges just dissipate, right? But I found no use for it. I've never really found a use for it. I would rather think fire earlier than charge faster than it usually does. But this has increased the gas held charge time, so it's, for me, it's just useless. And we have the magazine capacity, which increased the ammo per ton for all the ballistic ammo, right? So let's just go down the list here. The AC2 plus 8 per ammo, AC5 plus 3, AC10 plus 2, AC20 plus 1, LBX plus 2, machine gun plus 200, gas rifle ammo plus 1, so ultra AC5 ammo plus 3. I'm surprised they did not mention anything about the clan ammo, the ultra AC10, AC20, AC whatever for the clan max. Possibly that they don't have it, and this might not be for the clan max. I don't see it down there. Just realized that. I'll get back, and if once I found out, I'll put it in the description for you. And one of my favorite, the LBX spread is reduced with 2 of these nodes, minus 10% for 2 nodes, not 1. So that's 5% per node, and it's superb. Using this, especially my Cyclops carrying LBX 10s, minus 10% is beautiful. And we have another one of my favorites, the Ultra AC Jam is reduced by 2.5%. Having 2, so it's minus 5% jam rate for the Ultra AC5, which is, oh no, all the Ultra ACs apparently, not just the AC5s, is reduced. And if you're using the Kodiak 3 with the quad autocannon, Ultra autocannon 10 or Ultra auto cannon 5, and reduce it, that's really, that kind of mech, it'll help a lot. But don't forget about the heat dissipation here. Right here, let's see where the heat minus 0.75, and there's a lot of this. See, there's what 14 nodes for the heat generation minus 75. So that's a lot. So you don't forget to realize there's no PPC nodes. So you're gonna be concentrating on the velocity, and if you're a laser vomit kind of mech, ignore the velocity. You won't need it. It doesn't help at all. Let's see now, and that's all for the weapon skill trees. The next one is the armor skill tree. So the reinforced casing reduces the critical rate on your mech done by 1%. It doesn't reduce the damage, it just reduces the chances of you getting a critical hit. The shock absorbent just reduces the damage when you're falling. The skeleton density increases the structure damage, your mech structure by plus 2.9%. So there is how many skeleton density here? I believe that's 10 skeleton density in total. And you have the armor hardening here, which I believe is also 10. So one node is 1.4%. And you have I think there's another one here. No, except for the AMS overload. Now the AMS overload helps a lot, especially when your mechs are fighting against another team that has a lot of missile bolts. I've seen 3 mechs carrying AMS, and it totally destroyed all the missiles, or reduced the missiles to at least 1 or 2 before getting hit. And this is superb. This node is superb if you're carrying AMS, and it helps you protect yourself from the missile bolts. And not only that, the range here in the weapon skill tree actually increases the range where the AMS fires. So earlier shot, reduce the missiles much more earlier on. Now the armor, not armor, the agility skill tree. So you have the kinetic burst, which is used a lot by mechs for forwarding and reverse. So one kinetic burst node gives you plus 3.5%, which this is one of those nodes that you will require when you're poking and firing. Handbrake is a special heartbrake. I don't know why I call it handbrake. So a heartbrake reduces your deceleration by 3.5%. It's useful a lot for a lot of light mechs, especially. For me, I concentrate on, if you're on a heavy, concentrate on the speed of your torso turning, which is the torso yawn, which increase the maximum amount your mech can twist. Torso pinch, which increase the angle of your torso that when you turn. And you have the torso speed, which also is important thing, where I believe the assault mech require this, so that when light mechs run across you or around you, you can turn fast enough and get better shots on them. And this anchor turning, which all light mechs require, so that you can just dance around the heavy mech with this. So the anchor turn is especially important for light mechs. And all the speed tweaks are right at the bottom right here. And if you're a light mech and you still want those speed tweaks, you're gonna have sacrificed a lot of skill points for this tree just to get the 7.5% of speed, extra speed, which is a lot, especially when you're running over 100 kilometers per hour. Do you miss anything on the skill tree? No. So let's go to the jump jets capabilities. Now, so first we have the heat shielding. Let's go one straight line all to the bottom here, which actually reduce the amount of heat generated by your jump jets. So I found this very useful, especially when your mech is overheated and you're trying to get away. But I only suggest you taking at least 2 or 3 of these nodes. And we have the vent calibration, which is very important. This is very important node jump capability on for the jump jets right here, which increasing the burn time of your jump jet, meaning it's just increasing more fuel to your jump jets. And vectoring increases your mech by once it jump jets, it thrusts you forward more, which increased by plus 25%. Getting 2 or 3 of this would be enough. And another important note is lifting speed, how fast your mech flies. So even if you don't have a lot of the vent calibration, you can get up in the air faster by 3%. My suggestion is to get at least 3 of this. So this jump capability, lifting all the jump jets, are important for light mechs when they maneuver around mechs, when they use jump jets to maneuver. And for me, especially for the mech which is Medusa, which requires the jump jet to maneuver around and move around the battleground or around enemies. Now we go to the mech operation, which everyone needs the quick ignition, otherwise you'll start slow, and if you don't start fast enough, you don't get away fast enough, and you'll be shot and killed pretty quick before you even start. Or if you do start up, you're almost dead anyway. And we have the speed retention plus 10%. Well, it just retains some of your speed, so the max that you can cap is an extra 50 kilometers per hour. You have the heat containment, which we used to get for free, or at least 1,000, if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 XP to get it before. You have the cool run, which we got for what, 500, 600, I think, or 500 XP before. Now we have to spend a lot of skill points just to get to it. So you either pick the cool run, or you pick the minus percentage of the heat regeneration in the fire skill tree, or the weapon skill tree. And what else do we have on this? We have the improved gyros. I found a lot of people are using this for some reason. So it minus 75%, 17.5% of the gyro, which I don't feel, for me, if it's just for me, I don't use this. It doesn't bother me when the screen shakes. And we have the hill climb, which reduce the acceleration time when going uphill, and is especially useful when you're going around steep hills like the canyon battleground. What else can we talk about here? That's all for the mech operation. And you see this exclamation mark right here. The skill tree contains a note that have no effects on your mech loadout. They don't get rid of it, but however, once you reach the ECM, if your mech doesn't have ECM, you won't be able to click this. But I can't say the same for most of the other nodes. sometimes they don't tell you when you don't actually have it, so you can still click it even though you don't have it on your Mech. So the only one that I see is the ECM. So let's get to the target info gathering. This is very important, especially when you're brawling close range, so you know which part of the Mech you're supposed to target, what weapon they have, and who to prioritize. Target decay is especially important for missile bolts. When you fire and you keep on your target longer, so your missile has a chance of getting in direct contact or damaging the enemy. You have the target retention, which is I find this useless. I don't know why anyone would want this. If you see the Mech going behind you, you know they're behind you, so it's just a way to keep tabs on your enemies just a little longer. We have sensor range. We increase the sensor range of your view, so this is especially important for scouting. We have the advanced zoom. I don't advise using the advanced zoom. Try to train yourself without the advanced zoom. They're not that small when you're sniping mechs. Important for light mech as well is the radar deprivation. You should get the radar deprivation. It's very important, so you can, the light mechs, when they're running and the missile bots are locked onto them, you can get out of the sight and the locks off you as fast as possible. And the enhanced ECM right here on both sides, you're gonna have to spend a lot if you want both of these, like so. Look at that. You're gonna spend quite a lot just to get here. I can click this because the Victor does not have ECM, so you're spending a lot just trying to get this ECM. So my suggestion, if you're a mech like the Pirate Bane, do not get the ECM enhanced, because it's useless, because you're most of the time you're going to be on the other side of the battlefield with the enemy and stabbing the enemy in the back basically. So unless you're like the Hellbringer with ECM and Assault Mech with ECM, then I suggest at least getting one of these enhanced ECM, so you can help your team hide out from the enemy radar. And note that I've been very disappointed at looking what it can do. It's been nerfed. The seismic sensor has been nerfed, one of my favorite modules before. So it allows detection and identification of enemy via ground vibration. However, now you must be stationary for it to work. So if you activate this node and you want to find out where enemies are around you, you gotta keep still, which I don't do. And seismic sensors are usually for my light mechs. So this has been turned into a useless skill for me right now. So I'm not getting this anymore, unless in special circumstances or I have an extra skill point to waste. So I'm pretty sad that this ended up like this. And lastly, we have the miscellaneous, which is your consumable slots. Right, you have a total of 5 now, which you used to have either 2 or 3 depending on what mech you have. So right now, default, you will only have 1 consumable slot, only 1. So if you don't get this right here, the first consumable slot, you will only have 1 consumable slot. So taking this immediately gives you 2, and there's 3, 4, 5 consumable slot in total if you have the skill point to waste on it, or skill points used on it. You're not using it, then by golly, just get it. So you also have the choice of getting an extra UAV, which is handy, especially if you're a scout. So going down to the extra UAV, you can also get another consumable slot. And if your laser mech, laser vomit, or your mech suffers from heat regeneration, you can get the enhanced cooldown 2, and reserve coolant for another extra cool shot. So you can get, right now with this skill tree, now you have 2 extra, you can get 2 extra UAVs and 2 extra cool shots, and getting another consumable slot right here. So you end up with having 4 consumable slots. You also have the enhanced narc right here, which increase the projectile speed and duration, which helps a lot. You have the capture assist, so increase the capture rate of you capturing a base. We have about 6 right here, or 5, I believe 5, yes, 5. And you have the advanced salvos, which increase the duration of the air and artillery strikes, another extra artillery strike, another consumable slot, enhance their spotting, which increase the accuracy by 20%. I don't know how accurate this thing should be. I think accuracy should only be based on the player's skill of actually using the artillery, unless it gets rid of that red flare, maybe make it invincible. Then I don't think this is actually useful. So other than that, you have the UAV range increase, and that's about all for the skill tree. So what does this skill tree bring to the table? Well, to me, the skill tree brings a lot to the table if you're a heavy on assault mech, because you can get a lot of the skill tree weapons for heavy mechs especially, and armor, and you can just ignore the agility and just get the torso pitch and torso speed, which is good for the heavy mechs or the heavier mechs. But the light mechs, they're gonna have to spend a lot of skill points on the weapon tree. They're gonna have to spend at least a good amount on the armor structure, and to get those speed tweaks back, it's gonna look like this for a light mech. It's gonna look right here. Look at this, and this would what my normal default will be for armor structure, especially for lights. And if I wanted the speed tweak, this is how I would go about it. Kinetic, I would go to the center. I want the anchor. Speed tweak. And it's possible that the light mechs don't actually require the speed torso, so you're gonna go for the kinetic burst, right? And look, we're already spending 46, and if your mech has jump jets, like I said, I'm going to concentrate on this, at least 2 of the heat shield, vector, calibration. This is important right here, so I'm going to go with this. I'm going to get rid of that, yeah. So it's going to look like this, and you're at 61 already. And this is important, this too, for me. And my sensor range, if I have a mech with light mech, let's see, I would like the radar deprivation. Even if I had, I would ignore the rest. And then I have so little left for my weapons, and this is how I would usually go for my weapons, right here. And most of my light mechs are laser based. And there, I lost it. So I'm gonna have to get rid of some cooldowns, get rid of some range, so that I can get those laser modes. And even that is not enough. I gotta get rid of more. And this does not give me an advantage. I have not enough weapon skill points in my weapon trees. I have not enough armor. This is basically good enough. Speed tweak, well, this is fairly decent, I guess, but you're sacrificing a lot of firepower. So either you sacrifice firepower, armor, or agility, and most players have told me that they would sacrifice the speed tweaks for the armor and weapon and firepower or other skill nodes. So the light mechs do not have an advantage in this, although if you're a good player, you still can get around it, but it does not help in the less. It reduces what the light mechs used to be, I believe. But the heavy mechs, the assault mechs, they get everything. They don't need the agility. They don't need the torso twist. That's all. They don't need the jump jets. They don't need a lot of agility. I can just get rid of this right here, get this, and this would be enough. This would be enough for a heavy mech, for assault mech. We don't need radar deprivation. Look. And we have so many skill points that we can use on the firepower of the assault mechs. So that's gotten me thinking that the light mechs are not in the favorable condition for the skill tree, but you can see in every game there's less lights now than there used to be. Well, that's my opinion at least. But if you're still a good pilot, you still can get those damage up. But not everyone's a superstar, you know. So if you agree with me or don't agree with me, leave it down in the comments, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. And I hope, well, this is my 2 cents in regarding to the skill tree. But in assault and heavies, I've been enjoying myself. In lights, could have been better. Could have been much better. Although they're probably gonna have fix it along line, maybe. I'm not sure if everyone else thinks the same as I do. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you liked it. OffshoreSHO out.